All right, guys. Street Fighter 6 stages, tier list. Not all of them are here. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a tier list without making one, so I didn't. I decided not to make one. I went for the lazy option. I couldn't find a tier list without making one that included the two new ones, the Shadowloo one and the Akuma one. The Enma's Hollow, I think is what it's called. Can't remember what the Shadowloo one's called. I think it's like Abandoned Lavatory or something like that. We're gonna pretend like they're here, and I will mention them at the end as to where I would put them. So, in terms of the tiers, I couldn't come up with anything super clever. I just went with lame, which is, I kind of pictured it like, okay, I have to give context to whenever I'm like understanding where the idea of the names came from and how we're looking at the tier list. So from my point of view, obviously because it's my tier list, it's if you were to get this on random or if somebody you're playing with had the choice of choosing which stage to go on, your reaction is this, right? So your reaction is either lame or meh or nice or let's go, so for me that's kind of what we're thinking. I can give my reasonings though, however, as to why they are there. I'm sure you guys definitely want to hear that, so you can criticize it later, but like I said, it is subjective. So if you guys want to put down in the comments what your tier list will be, I mean, I will say that at the end, but just keep that in mind. Let's be friendly, even though I know not any of you guys want to be, but that's okay. So I think we can all agree with this. I'd be very curious to hear an argument for this one. But Training Room is lame. I was gonna say meh. It's lame. Training Room is lame. Let's move on. Old Town Market. The monkey is nice. Some people would say it's nice. I put it at meh. I have an argument for this. It also applies to the other ones that also kind of fit this vibe. And by this vibe, I mean have similar issues. Dusty. It's kind of dusty and a bit like the Atmos is there, the atmosphere is there, but I don't feel, apart from the monkey and the fruits and the like whole marketplace thing is cool, there's just other stages where I feel like the vibe is better, and we'll get to that stage in a bit. I think it's more than one stage. Yeah, it's more than one stage where I feel like they do what this one does, but much better. And they're not dusty. All right, the dusty, the little bit of, I don't know, something about the stages in this game that have dirt on the floor. I mean, this is spoiling a few, or like some that you conk up like sand or something. They don't vibe with me. I don't know why they don't feel great in Street Fighter 6. Some of them are cool than others, but this is probably, yeah, in the meh tier. So, I don't know, how do you pronounce this? Savahal Arena, the final stage in story mode. I'm just gonna put this in Let's Go. I think this should be top tier, but I can see people's arguments if they're gonna not put it in top tier. This feels like something people would assume is kind of basic based on the fact that, I don't know, actually. Maybe it's just like it's another arena, for people. So maybe if you don't like arenas and just basic stadiums, this would be lower. So I understand that, but it's epic. I think to me, out of all the arenas and all the like there's an audience, like an actual like traditional like tournament kind of audience. This is the best one. Speaking of the Macho Ring, this is the MMA ring, the Octagon. This is the lights sometimes are a bit much. I think in the beginning it was cool. It was nice, but over time and seeing how good this game is, Street Fighter 6 is beautiful sometimes. And I feel like stages like this kind of wash out what makes this game impressive. So I prefer more of the more of the scenic, atmospheric stages in this game. Where I feel like in other games, like in a King of Fighters, this would be cool, but in a Street Fighter 6 game, I feel like I lean more towards atmospheric. So I'm gonna put it meh. It's not lame though. The temple. This is Dhalsim's one. Dhalsimir Temple. I think it literally is Dhalsim. Yeah, Dhalsim's temple. Okay. The elephant is cool, but apart from that, I don't feel anything when I get to the stage. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in meh. I'm not meh. I'm gonna put it in lame. I don't like this stage actually. I think the elephant is really cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, if the elephant is in a different stage, cool, awesome, great. But yeah, not, who knows, maybe we'll get another stage with like really exotic wildlife. We know that Elena is coming to Street Fighter 6. So maybe with that, and two stages are coming, right? Two stages are coming included, and Bison already has his stage. Fatal Fury needs a stage. That means that Elena is probably going to get a stage to herself, which probably will be Africa, given the fact that her other ones have been Africa with Third Strike with Street Fighter 3. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get a better one. We'll hopefully get a better one. I'm hoping for like a Savannah kind of one, and that one can maybe have an elephant. But this one, not feeling it. Not feeling it. I'm gonna put it in lame. This is the China one. This one, let's go. This one's pretty cool. I think honestly, this had the reverse effect of the arena, of the not the arena, the octagon for me, because at the beginning I was kind of meh for it. And then over time, I started to appreciate like the actual visual. I don't know what it was about this stage. It happened. Maybe it's just me. It's just a me experience. But for some reason, at the beginning of this game, this stage would always show up. This stage would always show up, and I think part of me just didn't like it for that very reason. I kept seeing it, which made me not appreciate how good it actually was. So I'm gonna put it here. In hindsight, it's a very good stage. It looks gorgeous. So I like it. And also it's got a little bit of a restaurant feel without having like the market feel of like the Old Town Market. It's just a bit more classy, you know what I mean? Like it's people doing their regular thing but with a much better scenery. And then the temple, Genbu Temple. This is Japan. This one's Let's Go. The atmosphere in this one is sick. I don't know if I'm gonna really scale these into any spots. I'm just gonna leave them where they are, but this is sick. This stage was one of the first stages we got to see in the game, and it's the stage we got to play in the beta. I don't believe we got to play many other stages. I think this might have been the only selectable stage. It was that for a reason, because this was showing exactly what this game was capable of, which is holy shit. Dude, it looks amazing. It just looks amazing. The depth too of like you seeing like the gateways to the temple is like, it's just, I don't know, there's something about it. The statues, the valley in the background. I think it's a waterfall, I can't tell, but the water as well, there's a pond. It's just so good. King Street. King Street is nice. I don't feel as good with King Street as I do like the China one. There's something about King Street where I was trying to like it at the beginning of the game a lot. As we've progressed through, I've realized King Street feels less and less interesting as we keep playing and I keep going through all the stages and I've gotten used to them. Not a whole lot happens in King Street in terms of the background. I do like the little perspective with the bridge. It's cool. I honestly, you know what's funny? With Street Fighter, all the like England stages, especially like if you look at Street Fighter 3, like Dudley. Dudley has a lot of all his stages. He has 3 varieties based on all the 3 versions of Street Fighter 3, New Generation, Second Impact, and Third Strike. All of them look really good. They do. I believe they're all London. Even Third Strike has the London Underground, literally the sign there in the background. They all look very nice. I think for Street Fighter 6, they could have been a bit more. I don't know. I don't know what it is. They have the double-decker bus. They have like a little, corner boutique, not a boutique, but whatever the hell it is, like a shop. They have a bridge in the background. The atmosphere, it gives me kind of like, it's late at night. Something about it, it weirdly gives me like either like Sherlock Holmes mystery, like Jack the Ripper vibes, which is scary, but at the same time kind of cool, So I give it nice. Like it's really good. I don't know what would have made it Let's Go. It's just good. It's nice. I'm like, all right, cool. On the other side of the river, we got France. So France, I'm gonna put it better than England. Though I don't know if it's Let's Go. The Eiffel Tower in the background is cool when you first see it, but then when you keep playing the game, and whenever this stage gets selected, it's kind of not noticeable. I don't know what it is, but I just don't look at it. Like I don't notice because a lot of the stage is peripheral. Like you see a lot of it because you're focusing on the characters, not really focusing on the stage all too much. But the stage is still important. That's not to say like, oh, they don't have to put detail on it. No, it's gorgeous. There's just that thing where if certain things are in the foreground, Sorry, not in the foreground, in the background, the actual opposite. If certain things are in the background, if they're too deep in the background, sometimes they get obscured with how much you're focusing on the characters, and the actual cool like scope of it gets a bit lost. So while I do like Paris more than King Street because there's more going on, some of it is lost based on the fact that a lot of it is up because all the tents are kind of like almost creating a blockage for the landscape. So I think if they had made the stage a bit more open, maybe like not have the whole tables and crowd in the middle, but maybe like a river and have like people alongside the river eating and watching, and then that river shows like a clear scape of the Eiffel Tower, that would have been cooler. You know what I mean? I know this sounds very like what if, but I'm just trying to think of different ways. Because King Street, I don't actually have a reason as to how it could get better. I just feel the way I feel. But I think Paris, I have a more clear understanding as to what they may or like could have done that may have improved it. Colosseo, sticking to the Europe theme. Colosseo, controversially, I know people would put it higher, much higher than this. I'm gonna put it in meh. It's at the top of meh though. Again, super dusty. Love the concept. It's so epic and cool to find in a Coliseum. I don't think, have we gotten that in a mainline Street Fighter game? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know. The only one that comes close to mind is like the arenas. Like, do you find in a tournament in Street Fighter 2? I think you might. And then Gil, you find like a Vatican looking area. I can't recall if we've ever had a Coliseum, but this looks very good. This looks very good. It's just, again, the realism, unfortunately, they've added like dust, which makes sense because it's a Coliseum. There's all that sand and stuff, like the not sand, but the dirt. Accurate, but unfortunate because it does mess with the scenery for me. I do like the gladiators in the background, makes it very epic, you know, super Spartan-esque. Yeah, I just don't know if I like it very much, just because that whole dust thing is gonna be, it's just ruining it. It kind of drowns it out a bit. I think this is the worst offender of it though. Like in terms of the dust, like it really takes away. Old Town Market doesn't have that much. It's very like, honestly, it barely has any. But Colosseo has a massive amount. It really takes away from the stage. The Brazil one. Brazil one is nice, man. Honestly, it could be in Let's Go. It could be in Let's Go. Or at the top of nice. Part of me wants to put it at the top of nice. It is cool though. I'm gonna put it in Let's Go. It gives me like China vibes, but less scenic, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Because I don't know. I want to be fair to it, right? I don't see what more I could ask for. The snake is so good. The snake is the highlight of it, but the watermelons and the people in the background. I think there's a guy fishing. There's Blanca's mom, I believe is who she is. She's dancing, and there's just a bunch of. It's just good vibes. Good vibes, you know. And it's again the atmosphere. You feel it. It's good. Now, we've been talking about atmosphere a lot. Now, the beach, Bathurst Beach, which is DJ stage, I'm going to put in meh. I liked it. It was nice when I first saw it. After a while, I realized because of the way the sunset works, everyone is like, they're not silhouettes, but they're not complete detailed people. Like, I have to focus on them to actually see what I'm looking at, if that makes sense. Like, see them in detail. I know I'm looking at people and a car and a stage, but something about the sunset, while it's realistic and it's cool looking and it's atmospheric in a certain way, it's chilling and relaxing, it does look like a bunch of half done silhouettes kind of just vibing when I'm fighting. Obviously, if you're looking at it, you're not blind. You can see like, oh yeah, I can see them in detail, dude. What are you talking about? It's when you're fighting. I'm talking about all this in peripheral vision. It's just a bit, you know, the trees, they're lacking a bit of like, everything just lacking a bit of like saturation and color that singles itself out, which makes sense because it's all drowned out by the sunset, which is gorgeous, but it takes away from everything else. It's like the opposite of the Paris one, where I feel like the thing in the background, in this case, the Paris one was the Eiffel Tower. This one is the sunset. The sunset is actually taking away from everything else that's in front of the sunset. Wow, and the Eiffel Tower, everything in front of the Eiffel Tower is taken away from what's happening in the Eiffel Tower, which you started to see where the issues lie. However, at least in this case with the Paris one, the stuff that's in front, there's enough details and stuff to look at. That's so more is kind of better in that regard. So I'm gonna put this here, the beach one here. The position doesn't really matter too much. I'm just gonna leave it here. Russia. Russia is meh. Russia is meh. It's got a good vibe to it, though. It's got a good vibe to it. I want to be fair to it, but you're like on a boat or like in a factory. You're in a factory. 100% you're in a factory, but I'm trying to figure out if you're in a factory. I don't know why I got the idea you're on a boat, like a giant boat for making things, but I don't think you are. You're in a factory, which is cool. There's this weird like betting feeling of it. You know, it's kind of fun, but at the same time, it feels, I don't know. I feel like if we're going cage match, we could have, something about it just doesn't click. Again, I wish I had an idea as to what to improve upon, and this is completely subjective, but I feel like there's something else I may have wanted that I just can't think of. When I'm thinking cage match, this is good, but it could be better. So I'm giving it meh. And I know I say good and good should mean nice, but if I'm being realistic here, like I'm looking at King Street in Paris, I don't feel like this fits in the same category. Metro City downtown. This is literally just an alley. And you know what's the craziest part? It's in Nice. This is just an alleyway, and I like it. I like it. It's not in Let's Go, but I like it. I like it, man. There's something about it. It's just good. The vibes are there. There's this. It's cool because you see all these like, I guess gangsters or thugs or whatever in the background. I think you see Thrasher, right? I'm pretty sure you see Thrasher. He's like jumping on a car and stuff. There's like is there a ref? I can't remember if there's even a ref. There's there's a bunch of stuff there. And it's kind of cool because the alleyway isn't like, you can still see like it's an alleyway. So like, but it's narrow enough where it doesn't, like it doesn't take away from the area, like the area is cool. Like it still feels like a location, but you can still see it's an alleyway. It's like a hybrid of the two. It has enough space while also still having that narrow opening where you're like, oh yeah, there's like civilians and everyone else on the other side, but we're here, in an alleyway fighting it out. There's just something cool about that. And the plane. Plane is Let's Go. Plane is a classic, man. This is the helicarrier is sick. The helicarrier is sick. I love this stage so much, man. I'm gonna actually put it here. I don't think it's my favorite one, but I'm going to put it here just out of like, actually it might be my favorite one. Is this my favorite stage? It might be, honestly. Yeah, I'd probably say this is my favorite stage. This might be my favorite stage, yeah. It's very good, dude. There's something so nice about it. Something from like, I think if you don't play as Guile's in the background. I can't remember if that's only in the story, if that's only in World Tour, or if that actually is a thing. I think that's actually a thing. If you don't play as Guile, I know Guile is 100% in the background in this game, but I don't know if that's strictly a story thing or if you're not playing as Guile, he does show up there. I wish I could remember like the schematics on that, but yeah, everything from like the plane with the little Street Fighter flag and not little, it's huge, to the soldiers. There's a couple in the background as well. There's just a bunch of fun details, man. It's so nice. And then we got Mexico. Mexico, I'm gonna put here in meh. Just being fair. Just being fair. It has that dust thing that we talked about. I think it's understandable. You guys can understand where I'm coming from on that. I'm just gonna put the arena somewhere here. I don't know. For some reason, color balance is telling me to do this, but this holds no significance. It's just this one's probably at the very top, but these are just kind of randomly put here. But yeah, I'm gonna put Mexico over here. I actually prefer this out of all the dust ones. I know I should prefer the Coliseum. I really, really should, but this Mexico one is just better. I don't know. The dust takes away a lot here. And then finally, the last two, Laboratory and Enma's Hollow. I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. They're both in Let's Go. They're both in Let's Go. I think they speak for themselves. They did an awesome job with the DLC. because they react. The actual stages react to if you have Akuma, if you have like a Victory, just a lot of like cool touches, you know, like Victory. The stages shake, but like Enma's Hollow shakes and the volcano in the background erupts, and the laboratory reactivates with all the psycho energy and all that stuff. So it's just so good, dude. They're awesome. Those stages are incredibly done. So I have to give them let's go. But that's it. That is the tier list. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't put too many in lame. I feel like I might have not been harsh enough in this. But maybe I'd put the beach one in lame, to be honest. I don't really like the beach one that much. It feels kind of just empty, considering everything else's atmosphere. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna commit to it. Oh, whoops. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna commit to it. I'm gonna put it right there. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. I think the beach one is just kind of. I'm just not feeling it. There's something about it just doesn't work for me. But. Yeah. That's. Yeah, that's fair. There we go. Yeah. I mean, this is at the bottom. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, that's the tier list. Let me know down below what you guys would have done. Where did I go horribly wrong? Where did you actually go like, you know what? Maybe he's spitting. And yeah, did I cook or did I not cook? That's up to you guys. But if you guys do like the tier list and you do like Street Fighter content, anything regarding anything of this, so it can be the tier list, the Street Fighter stuff, the yada yada yada, like and subscribe. Liking helps the video out, makes more tier lists because I'm just seeing that the tier lists are doing well and gets it to go around. So even if you're a hater, you get to see other people be like, oh my god, let's hate on this guy more, and liking it gets it to more people to hate on it more. So keep fueling the fire, man. Keep fueling the fire. And if you're intrigued to see my opinions on other things, you can subscribe to check it out in the future. With that, I will leave you guys there. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care, peace, and goodbye.